From the business point of view, as a solar company, it was not an easy year because the price decrease was amazing and unforecasted, so strong. But from the point of view of numbers of megawatt, at the end was good. So the management of decreasing price was not easy, but we did. And but what is important is the number of megawatt of gigawatt that have been installed in just in 1 year in Italy. Something like a connection about 8 gigawatt in 1 year. Imagine. And now. From the point of view of the law, last year, okay, we had the big change during the year at the beginning, but then the minister understood the importance of solar, and he decided to reach the 10% of electricity generated by PV, and this was a very important message, and we are in this direction. In fact, at the end of this year, 2012, we'll have something like 6-7% of all the total electricity in Italy produced with solar technology, photovoltaic technology. This is my opinion, that there is space and we should continue to make the systems also on the ground with some limitation. But now, unfortunately, now in Italy it's not possible practically anymore to make systems on the agricultural land because this year the new government changed the law, putting strong limitation. It's possible to make a photovoltaic greenhouse. In fact, for instance, we are now closing a 26 megawatt photovoltaic greenhouse in Sardinia. That's the biggest photovoltaic greenhouse in all Europe. But just ground installations are not possible anymore. So the installations now are moving mainly to the roofs, obviously. We are now living a big change in the PV market because first, thanks to the reduced prices of systems, there are more and more opportunities in Italy and also out of Italy. In fact, you know, Anappoint is more and more an international company, and Israel is one of our best countries, absolutely, and it will grow a lot. And second, there are new technologies like the storage and the energy management, thanks to the batteries, that is giving to us new opportunities to manage PV energy in a very clever way to give us more convenience in the PV systems, because we can store the PV energy during the day and we can use it in the night so we are always more and more independent. Batteries doesn't mean necessarily that is an off-grid system. Battery, okay, they can be off-grid, but it's a tool to manage in the best way the PV energy, also when you are connected to the grid. This is the way because then, well, in Israel you are more lucky, you have more sun than us. But in Italy, in winter time, we need more storage or more PV, sometimes maybe too much, because in the winter we have 1.5 kilowatt hour per kilowatt peak. Is not so much. Residential, yes, but we are starting in Germany more than in Italy for regulations issues. And and then also, and always in Germany, we are now talking and we are close to some agreement with bigger utilities. They are very interested in big storage. But when I say big storage, is also for on-grid situation. Always to prepare like a reserve, to have like a reserve of energy that for also the utility can be useful without making work the gas power station. You know, if you have to switch off and switch on, a gas power station is very expensive. And with some areas, the storage can replace also the big power station, okay, the medium size, or in any case, it's always an integration. A few days ago, it was a holiday. For many hours in a day in Italy, we had 75% of electricity coming from PV. 75. It was a holiday, okay, so the consumption was lower. but it's amazing. And during the day, now it's, we have, in Italy we have 13 gigawatt installed, and it will be 14 at the end of June. And we have, during the day, when there is a nice sunshine, they are working, maybe not all 14, but maybe 12 gigawatt. And in the peak time now we have 45 gigawatt of power required to the grid. So 12 of these, 12 over 14, over 45 are PV. So just make the comparison. 12, it's about 25%. During the day, 25% of electricity, when the electricity is more expensive, is coming from PV. And this is a very big benefit for the company, for the industries, because the electricity price is going down in those hours, because we are in a free energy market. And that's a big this is a big bang. This is a revolution.
I envy the Italian activity, since the Italian activity is much more responsible than the Israeli one. Still it's tough and they're fighting, but there is some kind of future and a kind of regulation, and the laws are much more mature than the Israelis. The Israelis still are one step back or even two steps back regarding the laws. It's like always opening, closing, 30 megawatt more, 30 megawatt less. They're not making some kind of clear regulation, clear strategy. This is what's missing in the Israeli market. In the Italian one, you have it.
Related to the now existing market, they have a very big market share. In 1 year and a half, our partnership gave a very, very good results. Danny and all the staff are very serious, very straight to the target. We are working very fine. And I'm really confident that in the future, in the close future, they will understand. You govern. I hope some decision maker watch this video. They have really to understand that PV is a really big opportunity for the real sake of the country, because there is more and more independence on energy, on the traditional energy. Fossil fuels they are expensive, they are unreliable, because you never know where to buy. I know you have important reserves in front of Israel, but to have all the energy of a country depending on a concentrated area,
it's correct.
It's risky.
It's amazing that in Israel, 2012, they want to purchase, because we don't have enough energy, they want to purchase 200 megawatt of generator using diesel and benzene, when the prices are so ludicrous high, instead of investing the same amount in PV or even less. In Israel, 1 hour of a shortcut, that's what was advertised, is like almost 600 million shekels, where the full yearly PV cost of 100 megawatt is close to 80 million shekels. So this I cannot understand. I cannot understand decision makers. I cannot understand the regulation. I cannot understand the strategy of power in Israel. And the only thing today which we read in the papers is who they're going to cut and where they're going to cut. So this is not reasonable in my sense.
It's normal, but they have no future. World is changing. It's just a matter of time. So one day someone from the bottom will come up with different ideas, and they will take the position of the old people, old in terms of mind, of way of thinking. The real development is not continuing to think in the same way. This is not the sake of a country. Also, they have to adapt to a world that is changing.
בכל אופן, אז לגבי העתיד של השוק הישראלי, החוסר יציבות והאי בהירות של מקבלי המדיניות, והשבוע הוא, אני חושב, אולי התחלה של ההבנה של הטעויות שהם מבצעים. צריך לעבוד פה איזושהי נקודת מפנה רצינית בתחום של האנרגיה בישראל. הערכות שלנו היא גלובלית, אנחנו לא מושפעים רק מהשוק הישראלי, ואת זה הוכחנו, כי זה אנחנו עושים. אבל אני בכל זאת קצת ציוני וכן חושב שבמדינת ישראל ראוי שיהיה שוק סולארי אמיתי, שוק חשמל קבוע ומסודר. ואני חושב שפה בארץ כן מתבגרים אמנם מאוד לאט. במקום ללמוד מטעויות של אחרים, הרגולטור ורשות החשמל וקובעי המדיניות לא קבעו מדיניות אסטרטגית לתחום הסולארי. וזה שוב פעם, הבקשה והדרישה לבצע, לא משנה מהי. יחליטו שאין, שיגידו שאין, שיחליטו שיש, שיקבעו מדיניות. רק שלא ימשיכו לזגזג בצורה כל כך ברוטלית בין יש לבין אין, לגרום לכל כך הרבה עובדים להיות מפוטרים, לחזור לעבודה, לקבוע רגולציה. זאת הדרישה היחידה שיש לי מקובעי המדיניות, ונראה לי שזה ניתן לבצע את זה. אני מקווה שבשנה הקרובה נראה שינוי. חייבים להישאר אופטימיים, לא?